You know what really grinds my gears? When the so-called wrestling experts completely miss the mark on who's carrying the women's division right now. Everyone's been sleeping on Kendal Grey, acting like she's just another pretty face in NXT's stacked roster. But after what we witnessed at Gold Rush 2025, if you're still not convinced that Grey is the future of women's wrestling, then maybe, just maybe, you need to get your eyes checked. Because what went down in that Evolve Women's title match against Lainey Reid wasn't just a match. It was a masterclass. It was a statement. And honestly, it was disrespectful that it took this long for people to notice. Let me ask you something real quick. How many times does someone have to prove themselves before they get the respect they deserve? Drop your answer in the comments because I genuinely want to know what you think. Gold Rush 2025 was supposed to be Lainey Reid's coronation. The veteran, the established name, the woman who's been grinding in the Evolve division, building her legacy brick by brick. And don't get me wrong, Reid is phenomenal. She's got the experience, the ring psychology, and the credibility that comes with years of paying dues. Walking into that match, she was the favorite, and rightfully so. But here's where things get interesting, and here's where I need you to pay attention because this is where the narrative completely shifts. Kendal Grey walked into that arena like she owned the place. Not with arrogance, with confidence. There's a difference, and if you can't see it, you're not watching closely enough. From the moment her music hit, you could feel the electricity. The crowd wasn't sure what to expect, but Grey? She knew exactly what she was about to do. She was about to steal the show, and she was about to make everyone forget who the favorite was supposed to be. The bell rings, and immediately, Grey establishes herself. She's not tentative. She's not feeling Reid out. She comes out swinging with a level of aggression and technical precision that honestly caught Reid off guard. You could see it in Lainey's eyes, that brief moment of oh, she came to fight. And that's exactly what Grey did. Let me paint you a picture of what unfolded. Grey starts with a swift collar and elbow tie-up, but instead of the traditional power struggle, she transitions into an arm drag so smooth it looked choreographed. But it wasn't. That's just her level of skill. Reid tries to regain control with her veteran instincts, but Grey is already 3 steps ahead. A dropkick, a hurricane runner, a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker that had the crowd on their feet. And we're only 5 minutes into this match. Here's a question for you. What's more impressive, raw power or technical brilliance? Let me know in the comments. Reid, to her credit, wasn't about to let some young upstart embarrass her on one of NXT's biggest stages. She starts leaning into her power game, throwing Grey around with suplexes and working over her midsection with calculated brutality. There's a sequence where Reid hits a gut-wrench suplex followed by a running knee to Grey's ribs that looked absolutely devastating. For a moment, it seemed like the tide was turning. The veteran was asserting dominance, showing Grey that experience matters in big match situations. But here's what separates good wrestlers from great wrestlers: resilience. Grey absorbs the punishment. She sells it beautifully, and yes, selling matters because it tells the story, but she doesn't stay down. There's this fire in her eyes that tells you she's not just here to compete. She's here to win. She's here to prove that she belongs in conversations with the best women in the company. The match hits another gear around the 12-minute mark. Grey catches Reid with a surprise roll-up that gets a close 2 count, and suddenly, the dynamic shifts. Reid realizes she can't just overpower this woman. She has to outsmart her. But here's the problem: Grey is also smart. Maybe even smarter. She starts countering everything Reid throws at her. European uppercut, ducked, clothesline, countered into a crucifix pin attempt. Reid goes for her signature spinebuster, and Grey flips through it into a sunset flip. The crowd is losing their minds at this point because they are witnessing 2 women operating at an elite level. Quick question: who do you think had the better offense in this match, Grey or Reid? Controversial, I know. Comment below. Then comes the sequence that everyone's talking about. The sequence that's all over social media. The sequence that proves Kendal Grey isn't just good, she's special. Reid sets up for her finishing move, looking to put Grey away and retain her title. But Grey counters mid-move into a Spanish fly from the second rope. The impact is insane. Both women are down. The referee starts counting. The crowd is chanting "This is awesome," and honestly, they are not wrong. Grey is the first to her feet, barely. She's clutching her ribs, exhausted, but she knows this is her moment. She signals to the crowd, feeding off their energy, and you can feel the arena reaching a fever pitch. Reid struggles to her feet, dazed, and Grey doesn't waste a second. She hits the ropes, comes back with her signature running knee strike, absolutely levels Reid, and goes for the pin. 1, 2, kick out. The place erupts. Grey can't believe it. The crowd can't believe it. I'm watching this at home, and I can't believe it. How did Reid kick out of that? But that's championship mentality. That's what separates title holders from challengers. Now here's where Grey shows her true character. Lesser wrestlers would panic. They'd start making mistakes, getting desperate. But not Grey. She regroups. She takes a breath. She thinks. And then she goes back to work. She starts targeting Reid's leg, the same leg Reid landed awkwardly on earlier in the match. Smart wrestling, psychology, storytelling, all the things that make a great match truly great. Grey locks in a modified figure-4 leglock, the submission specialist side of her that people forget she has. Reid is screaming, the crowd is on their feet, and for a moment, it looks like we're about to see a title change. Reid is clawing, fighting, dragging herself toward the ropes, inch by inch. The pain on her face is real, the desperation is palpable, and just when you think Grey has it won, Reid makes it to the ropes. The final stretch of this match is absolute chaos in the best way possible. Both women are throwing everything they have at each other. Forearm strikes, super kicks, near falls. The referee is having the night of his life just trying to keep up. There's a moment where they are both down in the center of the ring, exhausted, broken, but still refusing to quit. That's the heart of a champion right there, whether you have the belt or not. Let me ask you this, does winning the title make you a champion, or does your performance define it? Really think about that and comment your thoughts. Grey digs deep one more time. She pulls herself up using the ropes, waits for Reid to get to her feet, and hits her with a devastating combination. Spinning heel kick, followed by a standing shooting star press, a signature finishing sequence. The crowd knows what's coming. Grey hooks the leg. 1, 2, no. Reid gets her shoulder up at the last possible millisecond. The building is unglued. Grey is in disbelief, but there's also this look of respect on her face. She knows she's in there with a warrior. The match concludes with Reid managing to hit her finisher, barely, after countering Grey's last-ditch effort. She retains the title, but here's the thing that nobody can deny, Kendal Grey won that night. Maybe not the championship, but she won something far more valuable. She won respect. She won credibility. She won the hearts of everyone watching. Post-match, both women can barely stand. Reid clutches her title, but she extends her hand to Grey. There's a moment of hesitation. You can see Grey debating whether to accept it, but she does. They embrace, and the crowd gives them a standing ovation that lasts 4 minutes. Here's my final question for you, and I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Is Kendal Grey ready for the main roster right now, or does she need more time in NXT? Comment below because this debate is heated. Look, I don't care what anyone says. Kendal Grey proved at Gold Rush 2025 that she's not just ready for bigger opportunities, she's overdue for them. This match was a star-making performance, and if WWE's creative team has any sense, they'll capitalize on this momentum immediately. Because moments like this don't come around often, and stars like Kendal Grey, they don't stay hidden for long. If you're not subscribed to Wrestling Zone 1 yet, hit that button right now. We're breaking down the matches that matter, the moments that define careers, and the stars you need to be watching. Share this video with anyone who still doubts Kendal Grey's abilities. And most importantly, let me know in the comments what was your favorite moment from this match. Let's talk wrestling.